Hi, my name's Eleanor, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Technology, Sydney. I'm presenting a methods paper written with my PhD supervisor, Leong, about our approach to designing and using probes. My PhD research looks at how we can explore the experiences of parents when it comes to their family's technology use. Now, I'd encourage you to read this paper, which explains in more detail the research that has been done in this space, including our own studies, which show that the individual family members within a family often hold different outlooks on their family's technology use. It is particularly important to understand how the individual perspectives within sets of parents are balanced and negotiated upon, as opposing outlooks between parents can lead to conflict and family tension. So in this talk, I'm going to focus on the core ideas of this paper, an approach to designing and using probes to explore these individual perspectives within sets of parents. Within HCI research, probes have been shown to provide a window into private domestic spaces and family life. When using probes to explore families, two approaches tend to have been taken. The first is to design probes for an individual family member who represents the family, and to then discuss their responses with them alone. However, researchers warn that taking this individualistic approach risks designing technologies that promote Turkle's notion of being alone together. And they suggest taking a more inclusive approach that considers the needs of the whole family. A second approach, then, has been to design probes that seek a collective response from multiple family members, and then to discuss this collective response with them all together. However, this approach assumes that families are homogeneous and overlooks the differences between the individual perspectives of family members. In order to start understanding the individual perspectives within sets of parents, we needed to take an approach that could consider parents both as individuals and also as part of a set of parents within their family. This approach needed to be able to encourage sets of parents not only to reflect on their own experiences of technology use, but also on each other's. This slide shows the 8 sets of parents we recruited to participate in our 2-week probe study. They all had children under the age of 12 years. This shows our probe study plan, where we attempted to take a balanced approach between the individualistic and collective ways in which to use probes. This meant designing a probe study that would capture a range of individual and collective responses from each set of parents. This included conducting a collective opening interview with each set of parents, during which the probes were introduced and explained. On the other hand, closing interviews were held individually, with each parent on their own, to discuss and reflect upon their responses to the probes in private. We designed a collection of 3 probes that captured a combination of individual and collective responses. The family experience jar captures individual contributions throughout the 2-week study. The digital family tree captures individual responses from each parent during the first week, and then asks them to collaborate in order to capture a collective response during the second week. The device journal requires individual responses from each parent, but attempts to encourage them to reflect on their individual experiences and on their collective experiences. The first of our probes is the family experience jar. Each set of parents was given a set of post-it notes and asked to make a note of experiences relating to technology use within their family over the course of the 2 weeks. The notes were color-coded, with pink notes for positive experiences, blue notes for negative experiences, and yellow notes for neutral experiences, or those seen as having both positive and negative aspects. So private, individual responses were captured in a shared, collective receptacle. The second of our probes is called Digital Family Tree. During the first week of the study, each parent was asked to individually complete the My Digital Family Tree template by illustrating the relationships both between their family members and also the technologies used in everyday family life. During the second week, we asked each parent to share their responses to their individual My Digital Family Tree templates, and then to collaborate to complete a collective Our Family Tree template. The third and final probe is the device journal. This is a comic-style journal in which participants are asked to complete a journal by imagining how their devices experience family life over the course of 2 days. They're asked to imagine the device most used by them individually and the device most used by them collectively as a family. Our combined approach created a more balanced way to use probes when looking at individual perspectives within groups. Our probe study allowed us to capture a combination of individual and collective responses, to then compare the individual responses with one another, and to compare the individual responses with the collective responses. In turn, our probes allowed us to discover a deeper understanding of family dynamics and of parents' roles and relationships. It also enabled us to reveal parents' individual practices and priorities. It helped to raise parents' awareness of each other's perceptions, and even helped to prompt parents to reassess their own expectations. As mentioned, this presentation focuses on the core ideas of this paper, which provides more details on the approach and how it balances individualistic and collective responses as a way to explore the complexities associated with experiences within families. We hope it provides designers and researchers with a helpful example of an approach to using probes that can be extended to reveal the experiences of multiple individuals within other social contexts, perhaps workplaces or communities. Thank you for your time. Please let me know if you have any questions or would like any further information about this work.